Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Real Thoughts with Bob Benham. I am Bob Benham, and this is one crazy election cycle here in the United States. That's all you can do to describe it. Is crazy. And it's crazy on both sides. These ads that we're seeing are just unbelievable. Man, just nasty, unbelievably nasty. I mean, I've been voting since I turned 18, and I'm 58 now, so 40 years of this, and I cannot stand it any longer. I'm tired of all this crap. I'm tired of the way they lie. There's a ad that's currently being run where I'm at that they just the lie is just stunning on this issue. It's a constitutional amendment to the state constitution, and it has to do with the congressional districts and drawing congressional districts and all this stuff. And when you read the language of the amendment that they want to put in versus the ads that are being run for this amendment, it is complete lie, complete BS. And they even have a former Supreme Court judge saying that we need to vote for this amendment. And I'm going, this judge is nuts. I don't get. Being former law enforcement and to hear this from a judge, a former Supreme Court judge saying vote for this amendment and citing stuff that's not even in this amendment, saying to do it, unreal, completely unreal. I don't know how she got her law degree. I don't know. I don't understand this whole election stuff anymore. And the way they push stuff, that's just, it's mind-boggling. It's all you can say. It's mind-boggling. And then you got, the way, I'm just going to come out and say it. The way Democrats are about their tactics of, if you don't think and then or agree with their thoughts, their tact, their way of thinking, their ideas, their whole platform, everything. If you don't follow in line with what the Democrats say, then you're blacklisted completely. You are just, to them, you are nothing. They have the moral high ground. They think they are superior to everything in the world. They think that they are it. That conservative people like myself are just the most stupid people on earth. And I'm just tired of all that rhetoric. I have done more for charity. I have done more to help people in my life than probably any Democrat out there. That's just the way it is. I mean, I've got more on the line than anybody out, any Democrat that's probably out there. When you take a look at these guys and their tax returns, and they say, "Oh yeah, well, you got to do more for the little guy and everything else," and when they release their tax returns and they've given less than 2% of their income for charity, and then you go and look at a Republican's tax return and theirs is like 10% or 12% or whatever. They're hypocrites, plain and simple. They're hypocrites. It's crazy how they are about all this stuff. It just burns me to my core about that. I just don't understand it. I really don't understand it. I've been just tired of it all. I have watched and listened, and I've gotten in arguments with people over the years about, I've had arguments about I'm a racist, that I'm this, that I'm that. I'm the furthest thing from being a racist that you can be. But you listen to one of these Democrats, and not, because I feel the way I do about having to work and to earn what you got, and everything should be based on what a person's what they know and what qualities they have, versus just giving it to them based on the color of their skin. I'm a racist. I don't believe in just giving something to somebody because of the color of their skin. I believe you have to work and earn it. I had to work and earn it. Nobody gave me anything. Why should somebody else just be given something? This whole equality versus equity thing and all that, it is crazy. I believe in equality. Everybody should have an equal opportunity, period, for everything. I don't dispute that. A person of color should have the same equal opportunity that I have for things. But it should be based on how well educated they are, and if they have the qualities to be able to do that job. Not based on the color of their skin. Period. And this whole thing of, we should take so many blacks because to equal how many whites, and this whole affirmative action garbage. No, I was in that mess when I was younger, when I was trying to become a firefighter. You have to, you're white, so you have to sit this out because we have to take so many blacks over you. What? I'm more qualified. I scored higher on the exam. How come you have to? Well, because we need more blacks on the department. Huh? That's wrong. That's wrong. I'm sorry. That's just how I feel about it. If it makes people mad and it makes me get in trouble, fine. I don't care anymore. I'm speaking my mind on this stuff. I've had enough of it. I've worked my butt off all my life to get what I have. Nobody gave me anything. Nothing. This whole thing about white privilege is a joke. There is no such thing. I've been told I've had white privilege all my life. I had a guy that I worked with who was a black officer. It stunned the hell out of me and called me racist. And I knew this guy for my entire career. We both retired, and then once we retired, he goes, "Well, you're a racist." I'm, what? When have you heard me or saw me or do anything that had to do with being racist? Well, no, I've never seen you do it, but it's because you're white. What? No way. Well, it's systemic. So, and you're part of the system. So therefore it's automatically assumed. Well, it's automatically assumed just because I'm part of the system? You're part of the system. Where do you get this at? I mean, it is... Please, people, where are you getting this stuff from? It is nuts. Absolutely nuts. There is no such thing as systemic racism. Nothing. There's nothing like that. It is a made-up term. There's no such thing. All this stuff has been made up. This 1619 project that's going on out there, all this garbage that's out there has been made up. It is there to divide. Period. Nothing in it is true. I remember when the movie Roots was made back in 1975, 6, 7, somewhere in there. I remember when that came out, and because we had to watch it as part of our school assignment. And I remember after watching that, I was horrified by the whole slave thing. And the way they made us feel about it and everything, it was like this was a historical... they made it sound like it was historically accurate, and this was this was exactly what happened to blacks in the slave trade, and this is how the slave trade occurred. And I was just like I said, I was horrified by it all. I said, wow, how did this happen, and how could... And then, I was all just aghast by it all. Anyway, it took me until I was an adult and in my early 40s. I made a trip to South Carolina, to Charleston, South Carolina. And I had the opportunity to meet up with a black historian there, and spent 8 hours with him. and got to tour the areas of Charleston that were not on the normal tour, and got us a perspective of it all, of the slave trade, of everything about it that was not what was taught in school. And it went against everything I was taught. We were never taught in school that it was the blacks, the black tribes that were going in Africa, that were going after the weaker black tribes and selling the weaker tribes to the whites or other black tribes to bring them over to the New World to be sold. We were always under the impression also that once they were here, they were beaten relentlessly, killed frequently, that they were not paid, not educated. What else? They were not homeowners. They were not allowed to do anything. All false. They were. Now they had to give portions of it back to their owners, but they were allowed, after their workday on wherever they were allowed to leave and go work and do side jobs for people, and then go back. And then if they were paid, they were allowed to, they had to give a portion of that money to their owner. I do not condone slavery. Do not. It is wrong on every level. There is nothing about it that's I hate slavery. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't condone it. I'm just explaining history. But these slaves were allowed to have a craft. They were allowed to use that craft. They were allowed to take it and go and earn money from it. They were also allowed to take ships and be captains of ships, take product down to the Caribbean and come back with product. If things were as bad with their owners as everybody was always saying in today's environment, which we know history is always being rewritten to make it worse than it actually is. If things were as bad as they say, why didn't they flee with their ship and never come back? But they did. They were making money. They were making money. Then they were allowed to own homes. They were allowed to have mortgages on their homes. They were allowed to be educated on the plantations and on the wherever they were. I mean, the whole and to beat one or kill one was very, very rare. And the reason for that was because they had to pay big money to buy one, and it was considered an investment that if they killed their slave, they had to buy another one to replace that one, and that was an expense they couldn't recover. So it was better not to than to do it. I mean, this is ridiculous how the whole narrative that we've been told has been a lie, has been a complete lie. And it's designed to make you feel guilty about what happened. Now, slavery is bad. It is bad. It should never happen. But what's bad about it is it's still continuing. It's happening right now. You have child trafficking. You have sex trafficking. What do you think that is? That's slavery. It's continuing right now. You have slavery going on in Africa right now. You have slavery going on in China right now. It's going on everywhere. It hasn't stopped. It's just been outlawed here in the United States. But it has not stopped. It has continued. And it's going to get a whole lot worse. It's going to rear its ugly head again here in the United States because of all these illegals that have come in. With 20-something million illegals that have come in, and with all this sex trafficking and child trafficking that's going on, it is going to rear its ugly head again. Because it's going on right under our noses. And nobody is doing anything about it. And the reason is because we don't have enough law enforcement to do anything about it. This whole defund the police movement, making law enforcement out to be the bad guy, it makes it to the point where they can't do anything. And then you have the point where these judges, prosecutors, everybody has just turned the court system and law on its head to the point where you arrest the poor law enforcement officers. If they do arrest somebody, they turn around, turn them right up, take no bail, go ahead, get out, go on back out, to reoffend. The ink's not even dry on the paperwork that the officers have done. They're right back out and doing it again. We got to stop this stuff. This is absolutely insane. We have let the mentally ill take over our nation. All these people walking around with the pink hair and these wild haircuts and whatever done with their whatever kind of clothes they've decided to wear, and their pajamas wearing in Walmart, and they're mentally ill people. They're not expressing their individuality. These people are crazy. And we're letting them just do whatever they want. Yes, we have to. That's because the Supreme Court said we have to. Unless they're being nuisances to the public or violent toward the public, and that's what it is, unless they're being violent towards anybody, they just have to be let loose and let go and let them do whatever they want. And that is, I'm sorry, that's not right. Because it continues to be a burden on law enforcement because they're the ones that have to deal with them. All the time. And the same thing happens then with that. Law enforcement goes out, has to deal with somebody that's mentally ill. They have to take them in for a hold or whatever. Walk them in, half hour later, they walk right back out. The system is broken. Immigration system's broken, court system's broken, and so much of what we value in this country is broke. And it's all and mostly because of one particular party, because they're morally superior. They think that they know better, and they think that they can just say, "Hey, we know that you're so hard on people. You don't know what you're talking about. You're not fair. You don't do things fair." No, we do things right. We do things that have common sense to make people safe. That's all you can say about it. That's all. And then, with this election cycle, it has never been more clear. Never. Yeah, you can vote Democrat and have your new way forward with the communists and with the Democrats, because they are communist. That's a new way forward is the slogan of communists. Period. They've used it. Look it up. It's in the history books. So you could go ahead and do that. You should use it. New way forward. It's not a new way. It's an old way that was started way back in the late 1800s, early 1900s with Karl Marx and his way of thinking and the communists and the Bolsheviks and everybody else that have tried this garbage that does not work. Has never worked. And we could keep on playing that game, stupid game. Please, we need to stop this insanity. And we need to stop it now. Right now. I know the Republicans are no better. But at least we have some sense of sanity when it comes to right now with who's running for president on that side. And we have a businessman that's running for president, not a politician. We have somebody that wants to get things done. And right now he's surrounding himself with other people that want to get things done, that are other business people. He did it 4 years ago or 8 years ago when he came into office. I believe he's going to do it again. I believe it. Donald Trump is the one that can help us. There's just, I'm sorry. I believe that. I believe that in my heart. This t-shirt I'm wearing, freedom over everything. With the Democrats, you will never have freedom. Never. They want control over everything in your life. They want control over everything in your life. I don't want that. That is exactly what I fought against when I joined the military. Communism was what I was fighting against when I joined the Navy. I was against communism. I didn't want that. I didn't want that in the United States. I was in the Cold War. I fought for the Cold War. I was in from 1986 to 1990. The Soviet Union fell not long after that. And I believe it today. And I'm trying my damnedest to make sure communism doesn't happen in this country. That's why I'm speaking out now. That's why I started this podcast, because I don't want it here. I don't want it. Not in the United States of America. I have sworn to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States, and I'm doing that right now. That's why I'm doing this podcast. All these people that are saying that Donald Trump is a fascist and everything else, that is the biggest lie there is. If that were true, he would have done that crap when he was in office the first time. But yet and still, there was a transition of power when Joe Biden supposedly won the election. People, the Democrats lie their butts off. They are so desperate to hang on to the power they have that they will lie, cheat, steal. It is so obvious. So obvious. And the people that believe this crap, come on, have a brain, think about it. If you're so gullible as to follow it, watch a Star Wars movie. Watch the whole Star Wars thing. If you are listening to what the Democrats say and following what the Democrats say, you are part of the empire. You're one of those dumbass stormtroopers that are just going. Please wake the hell up. I will fight to my last breath for this country and for that Constitution. The United States of America, there's so much about it. Yes, there's problems. Every country has its problems. We are a nation of so many different people. But it is the best nation on earth. It's the absolute best. Nobody can compare. And we have a constitution that just absolutely can't compare to anything on earth. Our founding fathers were brilliant. They were geniuses for having the forethought to be able to have in place something that has lasted almost 250 years. And I'm fighting. I'm fighting for this nation. I am fighting for it, and I won't stop. I just won't. With that, I can only say get out and vote. Next Tuesday is election day, and just get out and vote. And I just hope and pray that I hope and pray that Donald Trump wins this election, because we need a leader. We don't need a puppet, and Kamala Harris is a puppet. Obama is pulling the strings and has been. Joe Biden was his third term, and Kamala was going to be his fourth term. And make no mistake about it, that is exactly what is going on. There's no other way to say it. Just look what's going on. I mean, everything that's being said, being done, is exactly what Obama wanted to do. When he said, "Join me in fundamentally changing America," when he said those words, I knew what was coming. I knew what was coming. And he is doing exactly what I knew he was going to do when he said those words. And he's following the playbook right down the middle. And we need to stop this madness, insanity. If it weren't for Trump in 2016 surprising everybody and taking and ruining Obama's plan for those 4 years and exposing Obama's plan during that time, we would have been really hurting right now, even more hurting than what we are. I'm just glad that Trump had won for those 4 years, and I'm hoping we get back to that. Anyway, get out and vote, and hopefully, I'm sure, well, either way, no matter what happens in this election on Tuesday. We are going to do some serious episodes on some other topics. I have a lot. That's a lot that I want to talk about. Still, I kind of just needed to get that stuff off my chest. It's been building for a long time. I got to the point where I'm just tired of all the BS that's being said. Nobody wants to talk the truth. The truth hurts. And that's why it's not being said. And it needs to be put out there. And if it means people, friends of mine, whatever, turning and walking away, if it means it has to be said. I'm sorry. But that's exactly what I've learned in my travels. That's exactly what I have read straight from places I've been. So it's not like I'm reading it from some warped, whatever you want to call it, one-sided type of place, historian, whatever you want to call it. I'm getting it from places, not people. So with that, until next time, get out and vote. Please vote your conscience. I mean, I'm not telling you how to vote. I can't do that. So vote your conscience. Vote who you're going to vote for. And all I can say is God bless you. Thank you for tuning in for another episode. Please come back, and there's going to be a whole lot more. I'm sure if there's something that you want to make a comment on, feel free to. I don't mind comments. I will read them. And please come back for more and watch some more. There's much more that I have to talk about. And until next time, God bless you. Take care of yourselves, and God bless the USA. Take care. Bye-bye.